Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today again the location is different. I'm downstairs in my living room. So I'm here to film my hair dye experience video for you guys. So in the past year, so for 2011, I've dyed my hair a total of 4 times, and it was actually my first time dyeing it in February of 2011. So that's pretty late. Here's a picture of me with my natural hair color. And so I decided to dye it because I wanted a change, and it was senior year, so I was like, okay, might as well. And I got my friend to help me do it because she has dyed her hair so many times, and I was like, okay, she's probably very experienced, so she should be able to do it for me. So we ran to an Asian place to buy Asian box dye because I heard it was better to lift the color off of dark hair. So I got Palti, which I heard a lot about. I did some YouTube research and some Google research, and I heard some good stuff about Palti, and so I bought it in natural brown, and here's a picture of the box. And so it was all in Japanese and I couldn't really read it, but they had diagrams to show you what to do every step of the way. So I did that, and then my friend was working her way through my hair from one side to the other, and then by the time I rinsed it out, I was so freaked out. I was screaming my head off. I was like, oh my god! And then so what happened was she worked too slowly, so half my head was blonde and the other half was brown because the dye sat in longer on one side than the other. I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do now? I can't go and show my face to the world anymore. So I ran to the place where I got the box dye, and I bought another color, a darker color, to cover everything. It was the Lise one, Lise, whatever. The one that's it's also a box dye, and I got it in chocolate brown or something. It was one of the darker brown colors, and it was the ones where you lather it and it foams up, so it's you can do it yourself and it's easier. So I did that myself, and luckily it covered everything evenly. So I was like, okay, it's I can deal with the color. But I was so scared to dye my hair again, so I just left it. And here's a picture of what it looks like after a month. It was fading pretty badly, and then before prom I was like, okay, I have to go dye my hair again, but I'm not gonna do it myself again after that first horrible experience. So I went to a salon that my friend had recommended, and I got a quote, and it was $130. I was like, are you for real? And they were like, yes. And I just paid the money because I was so sick of the hair color and I was so scared to do it myself. So I was like, okay. And the woman did a really rich chocolate brown for me, and I loved this so much. I was so satisfied. I don't regret paying that $100, but would I ever go back again? No. But I really love the color. It was such a nice, rich, chocolatey brown. I went on vacation. That's when I started my YouTube channel. So that, my hair color was that rich brown faded. And then before I came back to Toronto, I was like, okay, I'm going to go dye my hair again because I don't want it to fade to that nasty orange color again and have to deal with the whole thing myself. And it's also cheaper in Asia anyways. When I went to get my hair dyed in a salon in Asia, it only cost me 50 something. And my hair was longer. It was down to here by then. Okay, that's I got ripped off. But I mean, I had no choice then. And now I know what's the price range you should look for. And I'll talk about that more later. So I got it dyed a reddish brown color. So the salon lady mixed 2 dyes for me to create the color I had, and here's a picture of what it looks like. So in the dark, it looks a lot duller. The red isn't as you can't really see the red, but in the sunlight, it's boom, you can see everything. You see that picture behind, it's kind of like that, but a bit darker, that red. So yeah, and I went to school with it, and this is a picture of what it looks like after a month or 2. I eventually faded to a natural brown, I guess you would say, and I was like, okay, if I keep on letting this fade, it's probably gonna fade to an orange again. So I got my friend to help me dye it, and the only reason I let her do it is because I was dyeing it back to black, so I was like, there's no way you can go wrong with that. And she did a very good job. I was so happy. I was like, yay! But yeah, But at first I was so shocked because it came out like black. Like, I've never had hair like that dark before, because I was like, whoa. But not in a bad way, but just in like a I'm not used to it kind of way. But I liked it, and I have it right now. And I think after a couple washes, it's gonna fade hopefully to my natural hair color, and it'll be good. Whoa, my hair's going crazy. Okay, so yeah, that's my hair dye experience. Now, out of the 3 brands that I use, like box dyes, I used Palti, I used Lease, I'm just gonna say Lease, and then I used Garnier. That was for this color. Out of those 3, if you were to transition from like a dark color to a less dark, like a medium dark color, I would say the best ones were Garnier and the Palti hair dye. Now, my experience with Palti was bad, but it wasn't the dye's fault. It was just like our technique and our lack of, and the hair color choice. So be very careful. There are the guides at the back, like they show you like if your hair was this color, and then they have like a long strip of like what it would look like potentially. So I think that's very helpful. So, you know, be careful when you're picking out your color, and never leave it in for too long. And even like for dark hair, I was like, okay, it's gonna take forever to lift my color, because I've seen some people leave it in for like 45 minutes. So I was like, okay, so I left it in for half an hour that time. I would say no more than like 25. 20, I think 25 is a good time. Like if you have long hair, just let it sit in for the whole time. And I wouldn't recommend the Lease one, because the bubble one, because it did not work on me at all. Like it had no lather, no bubble, no anything. Like I was like, is this gonna work? Because I was like freaking out. It was just like water. I was just like pouring water with dye in it all over my hair, and it smelled really bad. It was the one that smelled the strongest out of all 3, and I hated it. It was so bad. It's like you were gonna die. So I wouldn't recommend that one to anyone, unless maybe if you have short hair, then maybe it would lather better. But like for me and for anyone who has past like shoulder length hair, I wouldn't recommend it at all. I would say Garnier works well and Palti works well. Now, if you have Asian hair or dark color hair, I would suggest going with maybe Palti if you're going to transition to like a light or a light, like a dark, medium, light color, or any of the colors, because it's geared towards dark hair, so it lifts the color better. And but for Garnier, I know like the drugstore brands are getting better, like L'Oreal and other stuff. They have like ones made specifically for dark hair to lift the color, but they don't sell that in Canada yet. So it's kind of hard to find also, unless you go to like a professional like beauty, like something like the equivalent to Sally's Beauty Supplies, where you can like mix the dyes yourself. But that's a lot of work, and I don't have the time, I don't have the know-how, I don't have you know, the technique, the skills to do it myself. So but so for the Garnier ones and the drugstore ones, if you have dark hair, or if you have like hair like mine, like Asian hair, I would say if you're transitioning from dark to like medium light, go for it. But if you want to go from like dark to like light, don't do it, because I haven't tried, but I don't know how well it lifts the color and how the color will turn out mixed with your black hair at the end. So I think the safest bet is to go with the Asian hair dyes if you have dark hair and you want to go to a light color. If you want to go to a medium range color from dark, then you can pick any of those. It's also like, you know, your hair, it's very individualized, but that's just my advice from like my experiences and everything. So yeah, and also I think a good rule of thumb is always like, if you have like a cooler skin tone, go with more of a color that's a bit on the cool side, or maybe a neutral color. Like for me, like I hated the oranges because how it contrasts with my skin color. Like I'm pretty warm toned, and the orange was like a very cool toned orange, and it just looked really bad on me. So that's just my advice for people who are trying to dye their hair. And that was my review and my experience of how it went. So yeah, I have a haul coming up. I have a skincare routine and review coming up. I have a mascara review coming up, and I also have a, what else do I have? I have one more. Oh, face makeup, like primers, foundations, whatever. All those collection and review coming up for you guys. And I promise, this is the last time I'm filming with my webcam. I lent my camera to my grandfather, and he's coming back on Christmas stay. They're on vacation right now. So, and hopefully he'll bring back my camera and I can film on it, and you guys will see a better quality of it. So, subscribe, comment, like, favorite. Thank you so much. Your support means so much. Hope you guys like it, and happy holidays. Bye, everybody.